6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. The President appoints a commission of inquiry to investigate alleged human rights violations. The National Medicines Regulatory Authority approves emergency use of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. The Foreign Minister confirms the Asia Cooperation Dialogue member states that Sri Lanka is open for tourist arrivals. The Colombo Stock Exchange posts its largest single-day points gain in history. The UNP denies that their government entered into an agreement to sell the East Container Terminal. In foreign news, long queues reported as China's capital launches mass virus tests. And in sports news, the second test between Sri Lanka and England begins in Galle. A 3-member commission of inquiry has been appointed to investigate, inquire into and report to take necessary actions on findings of preceding commissions or committees on alleged human rights violations, serious violations of international humanitarian law and other such offences in Sri Lanka. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa appointed the committee through an extraordinary Gazette notification published yesterday. The commission, chaired by Supreme Court Judge AHMD Nawaz, consists of retired IGP Chandra Fernando and retired District Secretary Nimal Abesiri. Commissioners are tasked with finding out whether preceding commissions of inquiry and committees which were appointed into human rights violations have revealed any human rights violations, serious violations of international humanitarian law and other such serious offences. Identifying what are the findings of the said commissions and committees related to the serious violations of human rights, serious violations of international humanitarian laws and other such offences, and whether recommendations have been made on how to deal with the said facts. Looking into the manner in which these recommendations have been implemented so far in terms of existing laws and what steps need to be taken to implement these recommendations further in line with the present government policy. Overseeing if necessary action is being taken. They are authorized to conduct investigations and inquiries and to transmit the interim report to the President when necessary. President Rajapaksa has directed the Commission to submit the final report with its investigations, inquiries and recommendations within a period of 6 months. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana says the National Medicines Regulatory Authority has granted the approval for emergency use of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine for the COVID-19 infections in Sri Lanka. In April 2020, the Oxford University and AstraZeneca announced an agreement for development and distribution of the university's potential vaccine to prevent COVID-19 infections. According to the agreement, AstraZeneca is responsible for development and worldwide manufacturing and distribution of the vaccine. In his address at the 17th Ministerial Meeting of the Asia Cooperation Dialogue held yesterday under the theme New Normal and Safe and Healthy Tourism, Foreign Minister Dinesh Gunawardena stated that Sri Lanka opened its borders after much consultation, preparation, following best practices, keeping safe and security of its citizens as paramount and that of the visitors. Commending the government of the Republic of Turkey for hosting the Asia Cooperation Dialogue Ministerial Meeting virtually, Mr. Gunawardena stated that Sri Lanka is committed to the ambitious work plan of the Asia Cooperation Dialogue in line with the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development to promote inclusive growth in the region. The minister said that in line with President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's policy framework, Vistas of Prosperity and Splendor, Sri Lanka is focusing on a friendly and non-aligned foreign policy with special focus on Asia. The meeting adopted the Ankara Declaration on mitigating the adverse effects of the pandemic and recovery efforts focusing on tourism. The UNP has denied that the 2019 government has entered into an agreement to sell the East Container Terminal or any section of the Colombo port to India, Japan or any other country. The party said in a statement that the agreement that was signed was only pertaining to the company operating the terminal. The statement also said the memorandum of cooperation was signed between Sri Lanka, India and the Japanese government to lease out the terminal to a terminal operating company. Accordingly, a terminal operations company was to be established with Sri Lanka, retaining 51% stake, while the remaining 49% stake will be distributed between a nominee company of India and a nominee company of Japan. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
We continue with local news. The assistance of Samurdhi officials will be obtained to implement all government programs conducted on behalf of the poor people of Sri Lanka. State Minister Shehan Semasinghe has said that the era to work together by the ministries for the development process has commenced. He was speaking during a program in Anuradhapura yesterday. He said that electricity will be provided to all homes. He further said that the government hopes to get the assistance of Samurdhi officials to create a society without poverty. The Gama Samaga Pilisandarak program, which will be attended by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, will be held at 10 a.m. tomorrow at Yatta Patha Primary School in the Kalutara district. 6 successful programs of the series have been held so far. While Allavita Divisional Secretary Ranjan Pereira said that a large number of people are expected to attend the event. The Sri Lanka Navy has recovered 2 more bodies of Indian fishermen of the trawler which sank northwest of the Delft Island yesterday. The naval diving teams, who are engaged in a search and rescue operation, have recovered 4 bodies of Indian fishermen. The remains have been brought to the Kanke Santhore harbour by a naval craft. Meanwhile, the External Affairs Ministry of India, in a media release issued on the matter, stressed the need to deal with issues pertaining to fishermen in a humanitarian manner. The ministry said their strong protest regarding the incident was conveyed by the Indian High Commission to the Sri Lankan Foreign Ministry yesterday. The Indian External Affairs Ministry said that existing understanding between the 2 governments in this regard must be strictly observed and that utmost efforts must be taken to ensure that there is no such recurrence. Veteran media personality Edwin Aryadasa has passed away at the age of 99. He was born in 1922 at Unawatuna in Galle. He was a cinema critic and an environmentalist. Funeral arrangements will be notified later. Next, we take a look at the main news story.
Darling, our daughter has top O-level results. Do you know what this means?
Yes, just 3 years and she'll be going abroad for her degree.
For which we'll need a bank loan.
But is a normal loan the smartest option?
What else?
The smartest way is to start an HDFC Smart Goals account.
Let your child begin their degree with no delays. Start an HDFC Smart Goals account. Call 2356 888.
Honey, you're so smart.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vedha Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedha Mahatmya.
The Government Medical Officers Association has requested the government to prioritise vaccinating the frontline workers once vaccines are brought. GMOA Secretary Dr. Shinal Fernando said health sector officials are dealing with the virus directly. He said that the GMOA had earlier mentioned the importance of the health sector officials, including nurses and public health inspectors, as they work hard as frontline workers. That was a look at the main news story. Next, we have a look at Watchlight.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Watchlight. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board said a 24-hour water cut will be imposed in several areas in Colombo starting from 9 a.m. tomorrow due to the shifting of a raw water transmission pipeline to the Ambatale water treatment plant for flood control canal constructions. Accordingly, water supply will be interrupted from 9 a.m. tomorrow to 9 a.m. on Sunday in Colombo 1, 3, in Colombo 1 to 3 and Colombo 7 to 12. That was Watchlight. A bulletin of world news will follow.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines. Long queues reported as China's capital launches mass virus tests. Republicans seek to delay Trump impeachment until February. Saudi-led forces say they thwarted 2 attacks by Yemen's Houthis. Beijing launched mass COVID-19 testing in some areas today, and Shanghai was testing all hospital staff as China battles its worst outbreak of the disease since March, with families fretting over Lunar New Year reunion plans amid new curbs. Long queues formed in some districts in Beijing, where mass testing was launched following several consecutive days of new cases. City officials said there were some leaks in epidemic control in some rural areas with inadequate adherence to rules on wearing masks, social distancing and temperature checks. Republicans in the U.S. Senate are asking Democrats to delay the start of former President Donald Trump's impeachment trial until February. They argue this will give Mr. Trump time to prepare a defense. He is accused of inciting insurrection after supporters of his stormed the Capitol this month. House of Representatives Democrats are ready to hand the charge to the Senate. Mr. Trump flew to Florida as his term ended on Wednesday, skipping his successor Joe Biden's inauguration. The Saudi-led coalition fighting against Yemeni Houthi movement said that it had thwarted 2 attacks by the Houthis this morning, including destroying an explosive-laden boat in the southern Red Sea. The coalition also intercepted and destroyed an explosive-laden drone launched by the Houthis towards Saudi Arabia, state TV channel Akhbariyah said on Twitter. China says that unity and healing is needed to restore China-US relations. New President Joe Biden, after taking oaths, mentioned unity and healing in his speech. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Hua Chunying, while congratulating President Joe Biden recently, said that unity and healing are also needed to restore China-US relations. She pointed out that China and the US should treat each other well to restore the damaged bilateral relations. To end this bulletin of world news, we take a look at the headlines again. Long queues reported as China's capital launches mass virus tests. Republicans seek to delay Trump impeachment until February. Saudi-led forces say they thwart 2 attacks by Yemen's Houthis. That ends this bulletin of world news. Development news is up next.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
A look at development news now. The Ranminithan Telecinema Village is to be renovated and reopened. Hambantota District Coordinating Committee Chairman Dr. Upul Galapathy said that steps will be taken to promote the local cinema and to open the Ranminithan Telecinema Village to the international film industry after renovations. The Ranminithan Telecinema Village had been chosen as a prime location for a number of local and foreign films. That was a look at development news. Next is sports news, and we have cricket. The second test of the England tour of Sri Lanka commenced in Galle today. Batting first, Sri Lanka was 229 for 4 wickets at stumps today. Angela Matthews was not out on 107. Dinesh Chandimal scored 52. Lahiru Tirimana 43. On to Olympics. 6 months from the start of the rearranged Olympics, Tokyo 2020 CEO Toshihiro Muto is cautiously hopeful that successful rollouts of COVID-19 vaccine can help lead the safe and successful staging of the world's largest sporting event. Last year, the International Olympic Committee, IOC, and the Japanese government made the unprecedented decision to postpone the Games for a year because of the coronavirus pandemic. On to tennis. Australia is to award tennis great Margaret Court the country's highest honour next week. Media reported today a decision that had stoked controversy because of her history of anti-gay views. Court is to be awarded a companion in the General Division of the Order of Australia, the highest category of honour after previously receiving recognition in 2007. Court won 24 singles Grand Slam titles in her career and 40 doubles Grand Slams before retaining as a Pentecostal pastor. That was sports news. Next, we take a look at business news. Cinnamon Bentota Beach, a property of Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts, welcomed guests yesterday, becoming the first hotel in Sri Lanka to welcome a group of tourists with the opening of the Bandaranaike International Airport. Cinnamon Bentota Beach welcomed a group of 10 guests from Dubai to Sri Lanka with the official opening of borders to allow international tourists to the country. That was business news. Next, we take a look at economic news.
Economic news, courtesy of
Just move on real time, save more, LOLC real time. Paying the premium for transactions, simply save now real time. Day night, no trouble for your transactions. LOLC real time. Download LOLC Finance real time app for your LOLC savings account. Attractive interest rates, transactions anytime, anywhere with a zero cost and more benefits.
The all-share price index of Colombo Stock Exchange today posted its largest single-day points gain in history. The all-share price index gained 332.18 points today, setting a new all-time high with the index closing at 8,463.43 points. The Colombo Stock Exchange's turnover for the day was 12.84 billion rupees. The all-share price index has surpassed the 8,000 points marks for the first time in history yesterday, when the index had closed at 8,131.25 points at the end of trading. That was a look at economic news. Finally, we take a look at the weather report.
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh, no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The weather report. The Met Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places in the Sabaragamo province and in Kaluthara, Galle and the Matara districts. Misty conditions can be expected in the western, central and Sabaragamo provinces in the morning. That was the weather report. To end tonight's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. The President appoints a commission of inquiry to investigate alleged human rights violations. The National Medicines Regulatory Authority approves emergency use of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. The Foreign Minister informs the Asia Cooperation Dialogue member states that Sri Lanka is open for tourist arrivals. The Colombo Stock Exchange posts its largest single-day points gain in history. The UNP denies that their government entered into an agreement to sell the East Container Terminal. In foreign news, long queues reported as China's capital launches mass virus tests. And in sports news, the second test between Sri Lanka and England begins in Galle. That ends tonight's news broadcast. Our mutual friend Victor Raj and I will be jointly hosting a musical miscellany and, of course, Family Choice after the news broadcast.